thinking, who do I have to go? You know, following in the footsteps of Larnell and Ashley was pretty big shoes to fill. So I'm so grateful to be part of this first class to be inducted. You know, I was out there in the hallway looking at all the Sports Hall of Fame, and you know, that goes back decades, and so I'm really glad that we're now doing an Arts Hall of Fame here at Inducted. I graduated in '84, and I can attest to William Gravely, his influence on my life. He taught me to play trombone in 6th grade. And, you know, I definitely remember some gruffness there, like, you know, you're not hitting your notes, you need to practice, all of that stuff. But he was a huge part of my life, you know, in Bate, Jenny Rogers, Bate, the high school. You know, I traveled around with all of that competitive band, and we were admirals. I mean, we worked hard to make Mr. Gravely proud of us. And whenever I'm in here, because my kids just graduated a couple of years ago, I'm so proud to come into this space and know that it's Gravely Hall. And Stephen Boyd, who I graduated with, they didn't name it Gravely Hall. We were arguing before, because I was like, it was always Gravely Hall. Hasn't it always been Gravely Hall? Because to me, it has. I spent so much time on this stage, and even though I grew up in the theater, I decided to be in the orchestra for all of those plays and all of those musicals that Mr. Gravely did. So I spent a lot of time in the orchestra pit instead of on stage, and he was a huge part. And teachers, you know, Larnell, you made me think of my 1st grade teacher, Mrs. Cannon at Jenny Rogers. And I remember when I moved back to Danville about 20 years ago from New York, and I ran into her, and she said, "Heather Henson, I had the hardest time teaching you how to read." And I was like, well, you did a good job, because I became a writer, Mrs. Cannon. And Alice Shelburne here, Gigi Graham, there were so many teachers that had such a huge impact on me and influence. And yes, I grew up at the Pioneer Playhouse, and I grew up with a family that really supported the arts, but I also felt that Danville really supported the arts. I always felt like Jenny Rogers, we did plays, Bate, here, we were always hugely supported, and I'm proud that Danville is still that school that supports the arts. And I'm proud of my family, thank them for being here, my husband, my daughter Lila, who's the next generation of artists here, my brother Robbie, my sister-in-law Jan, and my dear friends. But thank you for nominating me for this, and I'm incredibly proud to be in this first. And Morris and I graduated together. We were, you know, grew up together here. So thank you so much. Thank you.